Hello everyone, my name is Funny Krishna and this is day 15th in the Git and GitHub Masterclass. In this video, let us talk about what is a cloning and how to clone a repository. Okay, let us say you joined in a company or you joined for an existing project. So far, there are multiple developers working and started working on that project recently, which means you don't have any project source code or access to the repository or something. Let us say this is the repository of the project which is in the GitHub. Obviously, this is known as a remote repository, right? That is obviously known as a remote repository. Now, your requirement is you recently moved into this project, and here is your laptop and you want to get this particular repository copy into your laptop. That process, that process is known as a cloning. So you might say, okay, I can download the folder, right? The source code folder from the GitHub and I can copy. Because if you go over there, give me a second. Okay. This is our project, right? So if you go here, you can see a download zip and you can download that entire the repository and you can extract and you can place it in your laptop. But the problem with the downloading the zip is you won't get the history. If you download the file, if download the zip file from the GitHub, you won't get the history. Just you will get the files, the latest files. So the cloning is the actual process to get the repository into your laptop. So for the very first time, okay, so here I will show you one thing. So if I go to, here it is, right? This is the project. Just I did a shift delete. There is no way that I have a project, right? Now what I have to do, I need to get the entire repository to my laptop, and that process is called as a cloning. What exactly happens in the cloning? Any idea? Any guess? What exactly happens if I do the process of cloning? So how to run that is we have a command called git clone the URL. Git clone URL. What URL it is? Your repository URL. Your repository URL. The moment once you execute this git clone on the repository URL, request will go to the repository and it will check whether the repository is a public repository or a private repository. If it is a private repository, you need authentication and authorization. But our repository is a public, so no need to configure any username and password. No need of any authentication. Anybody can clone that repository, right? So what happens here? First, it creates a new directory in your local laptop, which is named with the repository name in your current location, wherever you run the command. Let us say if I run that command here in this folder, let me show you. Show more options. Let me go to git bash here. Let me do pwd present working directory. I am right now in the C git folder, right? If I do git clone, what it does, it creates a folder. It will make that download the entire repository to that particular folder. Not yet done. Automatically, it will initialize a local Git repo. Like it will do a Git in it automatically, which will maintain a local repository. And obviously, it will create a .git and all the things. Then it automatically add a remote called origin, because whenever you do git push or something, it has to communicate with the remote repository, right? That is also automatically configured. With which repository? From where you have cloned that entire repository, the remote origins will be automatically set. And then it will fetch all the data, like download all commits from the remote repository. If there are any branch, those branches will be downloaded. If there are any tags, those tags will be downloaded, and the full history from the remote repository. It will get every piece of information with a cloning. Let us see. So for that, I want to this the repository, right? Let me get the repo URL. What happened? Okay, let me go to the repository. What is the repository name? My first project, right? Let me get this is the one. So already I configured SSH, right? I mean, if you configured HTTPS, you can get this. So here, what we have to do: git clone space the repository URL, right? Paste it. Let me press enter. See, now it is cloning into this folder, my first project, and everything done. Let us go to that folder. See, there is a folder. Can you see .git? Means initialization automatically done. It fetches all a data. It fetches all data. Means it fetch all remote changes. Okay, let me show you one thing. Whatever the changes available on the remote repository, every piece of information will be automatically cloned into your local repository. That is what the git clone. So when to use this git clone? The very first time. The very first time whenever you are configuring the repository, then you have to use the git clone. It's like a one time. Okay, now here there is another user. So this is a user 2 laptop, and here it is a user 1. You are the user 1, right? Okay, now so user 2 is here. And this user also connected to the same repository because you both are working on the same project, right? Now he pushed some changes. He created a new file, and that file was updated into the local repository. Now user 1, you are the user 1 and I am the user 2. I updated some new piece of code and all the thing, and you want to get the same data into your existing repository. So for the very first time, so to set up the repository, we use a git clone. That's the only one time setup. Then to get the regular updates, we can use a fetch, a git fetch command. What is this git fetch? Git fetch, whenever you execute the git fetch command on your laptop in the repository, what happens? It will send a request to the remote repository, and it will ask that what's new, what new things you have, and whatever the new things are available. Let us say here this user created a new .txt file after you clone the repository. Whenever the git fetch asks what's new, it will ask what's new. Then the remote repository replies that I have a new .txt file. I have a new .txt file. And then that new file will be downloaded. That new file will be downloaded to your laptop. And there is a other way, git pull, git fetch or git pull. These are the two different commands because already we have used git push, right? What is a git push? Git push can be used to push the data into the remote repository. Git fetch, I said, to get the new changes. What about the git pull? Any guess? Exactly. The git pull is used to get the data from remote repository to the local repository, means to from your laptop. But what is the difference? What is the difference between the git fetch and git pull? Because here for the same purpose, we have two different commands, right? What is the git fetch and what is the git pull? And when to use what command? When to use a git fetch and when to use a git pull? Okay. In the real time, which one we will use most frequently? Any guess? Just take a few seconds, and if you know, just comment your answer in the comment section. Okay, let me explain. Git fetch, right? Whenever you do the git fetch, right? So the request goes to the remote repository, connects to the remote repository. It will download the new changes, like a new commits. If there are any new branches, new tags, everything will be downloaded, and it will stop here. That's it. It will download. It will keep those new things as separate. It will never ever touch your working directory. So it will not be updated with your working directory or your working files. Just it will download the changes, whatever the changes are available in the remote repository, and those changes will be maintained aside in your local repository. But it will never update your working directory. That is what the git fetch. Coming to the git pull, same, it connects to the remote. Let me change the color. It connect to the remote repository. It download new commits, same as fetch. Update the remote tracking references or whatever, the same as a fetch up to here. Then automatically it will merge. It will merge those changes. Okay, let me type. It will merge those changes into your working directory. It will automatically merge and update. So I can say git pull. Git pull, I can say, is equal to git fetch plus git merge. It is a combination of fetch plus merge. So what git fetch will do, it will just download the changes, new changes from the remote repository to local repository, and it will not merge. It will maintain the changes as a separate on a side. Whereas the git pull, it does the same. It download the new changes, and those will be merged into your working directory. Those changes, new changes, will be merged and updates your working directory. Means your working directory, you can see all the new things. Let us check those things practically. Now here, but in the real time, always we use the git pull. Very rare that we use a git fetch. Okay. So here I would like to create a file, new file. So I will say pull.txt, testing git pull. Let me click on commit changes and done. Commit is done. Okay. So how many files are there in the remote repository? You can see pull.txt file, but in the local repository, let me refresh. There is no pull.txt file. How to get that file? We don't do like what we call that every time. We don't do git clone. Git clone is like a one-time job. Now you have to use git pull. What is the command? Git pull. How to pull? How to use a git push? Git push hyphen u origin main, right? That is what? The push. The same way. Git pull origin main. Oh, okay. We are not in the correct directory, right? We are not in the project repository. CD, my first project, pwd. Yes, I'm in the project directory. Now git pull origin main. See, and also I said whenever you do a git clone, right? It downloads all the history and everything. That also will verify. Okay, right. So here, see, something branch fetch head. Then updating fast forward is like merging it. Git pull plus merge. Let us see. In the working directory, you should see. Let me refresh the page. See, file got downloaded and available in the working directory. So if I open git status, sorry, get a status up to date. Okay, so let us say git a log hyphen one line. See, all the commit history, commit information is available since starting. Okay, and there is git fetch, right? Git fetch git fetch origin. So it will fetch the remote repository to the local repository, but there is no changes in the remote repository. The difference is git pull is equal to git fetch plus git merge. Two things. Git fetch will just download, but it will not merge into your current branch. Whenever you do a git pull, it will download the changes and automatically the changes will be merged into the current branch and updates the working directory. That's what, like, how to clone and how to use git pull or git a fetch. That's all for this video. Let's continue with another topic in the next video. Thank you, everyone.